Maqasidic Tafsir.
Where should I begin when I'm starting at the end? Pursuing the higher aim, learning the meaning of every page. Where should I begin when I'm starting at the end?
Assalamu alaikum. SunnahFollowers presents a new class, the Maqasidic Tafsir, being taught and brought to you by Ustada Laila Nasheeba. Please stay tuned, streaming on all major platforms, right here on channel SunnahFollowers.
We've been speaking about what is it that causes certain humans, Muslims, to take scholarly views over the companions. For example, I talked about it from last Friday, the nurses. We got a group of nurses, guys, who take scholarly views over Allah. Those nurses, we talked about them all week, and I'm going to keep talking about them because that's a terrible thing they're doing. They're killing people. You know, they're taking people, they say they're taking people out of their misery by putting them to sleep in the hospitals. They call it mercy killings, or whatever they call that crap. You know, there ain't nothing merciful like that. Okay, that's haram. And what do they say? How do they justify it? They said they spoke with higher up scholars. Higher up scholars. I don't know who is higher up over Allah, but for these women, these Muslim women, they believe that there's some human beings who are higher than Allah. And those human beings have issued fatwa telling them that it's permissible to take people out of their suffering by putting them to sleep for life. Seriously. Y'all think I'm lying? Go look at that post on my Instagram. It's on one of my short videos on Instagram. Those women are crazy, but they claim to be Muslim. They say there is an authority higher than Allah. And who is that authority that's higher than Allah? The higher up scholars, whoever they are. Yeah, these sisters, I think she's from, no, not United Kingdom. I think she's from Australia. Maybe they got a council of higher ups in Australia. I don't know. Bottom line is, we don't take the opinion of no one over Allah or his prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And when it comes to understanding this religion, our understanding of things should be as those original companions, not nobody of today. Exactly. So in this class, we've been looking at how if we truly would read the Quran and ponder what Allah is saying to us, that will prevent us from falling victim to our personal jinn and making big mistakes like those women are making. And I gave you guys a homework assignment because in this book, there's two surahs in particular that we're looking at. The first being Surah An-Nur, the light. If you really look at the parable that Allah uses in that surah with the first 5 verses of that surah, if you truly believe in Allah, after pondering what Allah is saying, that's going to cause your heart to soften. That's going to cause you to fall to your knees and repent from the sins you've done. And that's going to cause you to reach out and seek Allah as your guide and make him your guide. So let's put this PowerPoint up and take a look at that verse. And just let everybody know, tonight I'm going to be covering pages 42 through 47 of the book. And we're going to speak about the light of the heavens and the earth. Okay? But before we get to speaking about that, here is the verse. The verses. Allah says in the interpretation of the meaning, Allah is the light of the heavens and the earth. That's the first sentence. Ponder it. His light is like a niche in which there is a lamp. Pause. There's a comma. Think about a lamp. And the lamp is in crystal. So imagine a crystal glass lantern. And the crystal is like a shining star. What does that mean? Because of the light that is within that crystal lantern. The light is causing that crystal covering to shine like a star, like a star. And what is the flame lit from? Lit from the oil of a blessed olive tree. Now, you guys know how good olive oil is. That's the best oil, especially the virgin kind. It's healthy too. Virgin olive oil. You got high cholesterol problems? Your doctor tell you to drink virgin olive oil. Okay, it's good for, it clears. What does olive oil do? It cleans the arteries. It allows the blood to run through your body. It gets your blood pumping through your veins. This is how you ponder. And that olive tree is neither to the east nor to the west, but its oil would almost glow even without being touched or lit by the fire. Can y'all imagine that? Light upon light. Allah guides whoever he wills to his light. Imagine that lantern, that flame in that crystal lantern. You know what happens when you turn on your lights? The mosquitoes, the flies, the butterflies, they're all attracted to that light. They gravitate to it. They want to get to that flame. Light upon light. Allah guides whomever he wills to his light. Imagine that flame in that lantern being the light of Allah. You trying to get to it, but you can't, because the crystal covering is preventing you from touching the flame. You're attracted to the brightness. You're attracted to the glow. You're attracted to the heat, but you can't get no closer than that crystal covering unless Allah allows you to. This is the parable that Allah sets forth for us to ponder, because Allah knows everything. What does that mean? Allah knows you. He knows what secrets you have in your heart. He also knows what you're thinking in your mind. He knows what your strengths are, your weaknesses, your desires. He knows what you're planning to do. You can keep it from me, keep it from other people knowing, but Allah knows what you're gonna do before you even do it. And he knows what's gonna be the result. He knows if he's gonna bless you or punish you. And he knows if you're gonna end up in the ultimate hellfire or paradise too, even though he didn't make you do the stuff. He created the scenario. He created the circumstances. He created the environment and said, I know what you're gonna do, but let's see you do it. And he's going to have them angels write it down so he can have it thrown right back up in your face when you in that grave. This is a powerful parable. So now, who would like to share with us, after reading these 5 verses, how did it impact you personally? Who would like to start us off and share with us how these verses, sorry, I'm trying to, oh, I messed up my screen. This is what happens when I'm on 2 Zooms. I don't know where I'm at. Hold on, y'all, I'm confused. Layla's confused. Okay, I'm back. I'm confused. See how 2 Zoom rooms confuse me? I told y'all, Edward, I'm confused with that stuff. All right. Okay, so now y'all can see me, right? Okay, here we go. See the PowerPoint. Who would like to start us off? What do you take from this verse, Sister Layla? Let's start off with Layla.
Assalamu alaikum. I knew you were going to start with me. When it says Allah is the light of the heavens and the earth, I put that he's the source of light. Any kind of light we have, it comes from him. So that's what I put for the first.
Mm-hmm.
And the likeness of his light. Let me see, what did I put? The likeness of his light is the lamp. I don't know if this is right, but whenever I think of a light and I'm outside in the dark, I don't know how to navigate in the dark unless I have the light in front of me. So I use that as like if I was in the wilderness or something, I wouldn't be able to maneuver or
it's a guide.
Move around unless. So he's my guide. Yes.
Good job. Good job. See, you did great. You got it. Good job.
That's the only part I got, Sister Layla.
But that's the rest
I didn't get.
That's okay. Those 2 verses there are the 2 most important ones, because Allah is letting us know that He is our guide. That without Him, without His guidance, nothing good is going to come for us. There's not going to be nothing good for us. And this is something that Muslims today do not understand. Like I tell y'all every day, what's the problem? We don't believe in the lordship of Allah, Tawheed or Rububiyyah. We don't understand that Allah is in control. Man is not in control of anything, not the war or anything else. Mother Nature is not in control of the weather. Mother Nature ain't got nothing to do with the fire that burned in LA. Mother Nature ain't got nothing to do with the snowstorms across the America today. Mother Nature ain't got nothing to do with the earthquakes. Just like man has nothing to do with who's going to be president. Man has nothing to do with who's going to die today. Man has nothing to do with declaring war and making peace. Everything that is happening because Allah wills it. If we understood that, then we would turn to Him and seek His guidance. That's why these 2 verses are the most important. Allah is the light. We have problems in our lives. You're going through problems in your family. You're going through problems on your job. You're going through problems with your health, your money, your finances. Allah's the guide. He's the light. Like the prophet said, whenever something bad happens, ask yourself, what am I doing that I shouldn't have been doing? What am I not doing that I should? The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, this is the hadith. He said, faith will manifest itself at the first strike of a hardship or calamity. And there's different, many odd, 70 odd branches of faith. Patience is just one. Strength is another. Empathy is another. Compassion is another. Intelligence is another. Without the guidance of Allah, guys, you're not going to achieve balance in your life. Without Allah's guidance, there is no balance for you. Without Allah's guidance, you will have no hope. Without Allah's guidance, you will despair, which is what many of you Muslims today are doing, because y'all can't handle the fact that there is no power or might other than Allah. Sister Nia, what did you come up with from this?
That Allah is everything, and especially everything that's good. And that okay, and I also got that well, it says it clearly that Allah guides whoever he wills to his light. So to me that means that Allah is so great that, you know, even if we want to come to him, we can't come without his permission, you know, without him saying, I want you to come. So that's what I got from it.
That too, that's true too. Nothing happens, good or bad, unless Allah wills it. That's why I have to tell these brothers, you can't make nobody convert to Islam. Allah makes Muslims. You can sit there and argue and debate the religion till your tongue falls out. Allah makes Muslims. He guides whom he wills. Remember the hadith where the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam made supplication. I'm going to tell y'all why I'm going to use this. I'm glad Sister Nia brought that up, because Brother Dawood, who is another one of our new shahadas, this is what he was saying too. He said, Sister Laila, since Allah guides whom he wills, he said, then why not blame Allah for people not being Muslim?
Is that because he gives us free will? Like, you know, we have the option to say yes or no too?
No, not really. This is a good question. And there are some people out there who are Muslims who don't understand the qadr. When it comes to the decree of Allah, they really don't understand it. They'll say, well, the reason why I'm an alcoholic is because Allah willed for me to be a drunk. The reason why she's a prostitute is because Allah willed it. The reason why he's a murderer is because Allah willed it. And that's true, Allah willed it, but it ain't that simple. No, no. And I want all of you Muslims, old and new, to listen to what I'm getting ready to say, because I'm getting ready to explain this in plain, simple English. My Arabic brothers, they struggle. They can't get you all to understand this because they don't know how to break it down. I'm getting ready to break it down. Yes, it's true. You are alcoholic because Allah willed it. Yes, it's true. You are a prostitute because Allah willed for you to stay in that state. But Allah didn't make you that alcoholic. Allah didn't make you that prostitute. And I'm going to show you the example. When the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam received the call to prophethood, he was being oppressed and persecuted, as were all the Muslims. The Muslims were low in numbers, and they were being abused, prosecuted, beaten, killed, all of that. So the Prophet Muhammad made dua one day. He said, "Oh Allah, two of the strongest and most fierce of the Quraysh was Abu Jahl." Abu Jahl was one of the leaders of the Quraysh. He was the worst one, but he was strong, powerful. The people would follow him. The second strongest of the Quraysh was Umar, radiallahu anha. So the Prophet made dua. He said, "Oh Allah, please guide to Islam either Abu Jahl or Umar ibn al-Khattab, because if we had one of them on our side, the persecution would lessen, because the people fear those two men." Which one of them became Muslim? It was Umar. Yes, that was the will of Allah. So can we say that Allah, that the reason why Abu Jahl died a kafir and cursed is because of Allah? No. We have to understand Allah, like this verse says. This is the verse of the light. Allah has perfect knowledge of all things. When the Prophet Muhammad made that dua, Allah knew. He knew Abu Jahl and he knew Umar. Allah knew that Umar would change. That even though Umar was bad, Allah knew that once Umar became a Muslim, he would make a difference. And then Allah knew Abu Jahl. He knew that Abu Jahl was no different than Pharaoh. That even if Abu Jahl converted to Islam, he wouldn't be sincere. He would still be the wicked, wretched, horrible person he is. So Allah said, "I'm going to leave Abu Jahl to himself, because my guidance ain't going to benefit him. But Umar, I will bring and guide to the light, because I know my guidance will benefit him." Do y'all understand? So Allah willed it, but not because he chose it that way. Allah willed it because he knew that Abu Jahl is a wicked person. Why are you a drunk? Why are you a prostitute? Because Allah knew that you would choose it for yourself. And Allah knew that you would listen to Laila and still be drinking alcohol. You would learn your religion and still be a prostitute. Allah knows that there is no guidance for you. So just like Pharaoh and just like Abu Jahl, leave that alcoholic and that prostitute to themselves. Do y'all get it now? Did I explain that, Laila?
Yes.
So Allah didn't get in your body and make you do this. It's just that Allah knows that even when you become Muslim, you're going to still be the rotten criminal that you are. You ain't going to be sincere. You ain't going to pray. You're going to halfway do good. So leave him to himself. Why waste my time? Allah's like, why waste my time on somebody like her, when there's a woman over there who I know has light in her heart? He knew that Umar had light in his heart. There was no light in Abu Jahl's heart. His heart was black, like Pharaoh's. It was hard, like Pharaoh's. So leave him to himself. You guys understand that? It's just that simple. So again, Allah guides who he wills. and he chooses who to guide based on that person's self, based on how that person views himself and his relationship with Allah. Because like I said, we can't hide from him. You can lie to me. You can lie to your mama. You can lie to your husband. You can lie to the world, but you can't lie to Allah. He knows you crooked. You a loser. So I'm going to leave you to yourself. I ain't wasting my time on you. He knows that you attracted to sex. Your God is sex. Your God is alcohol. Your God is weed. He knows you ain't going to stop smoking weed. You ain't going to stop turning tricks. So why is he's like, I ain't wasting my time. That's a denizen of the hellfire. Leave him to himself and have the angels read his deeds to him. Y'all understand that? That's how the Qadr work. To think that Allah is choosing for you to be that way. Allah didn't choose for you to be a prostitute. Allah didn't choose for you to be a drug addict. You chose it for yourself. Allah just knew that you would make it your God and not him. Y'all understand that?
Yes, Sister Laila. Is that the same reason why Allah says, I know what you don't know? When the angels and Shaitan was in, when he told Shaitan to bow down,
yeah, because Allah knew that he wasn't going to do it. Yeah, Allah knew that too. Allah knows everything, but he's not the one making you do it. You got free will. That's where the free will comes in. We make our own choices. He just knows what would y'all deal with her?
I'm dying. Oh.
Do I have any moderators? Okay, I need you moderators to wake up, please. When I'm doing a class, I'm going to need y'all to be attentive. Because this is some powerful stuff I'm teaching. Okay? So, Allah doesn't make the choices. He knows what your and my choice in things will be. And he knows that you a loser. And he knows that you a winner. Because he knows everything about you. He knows what all your choices are going to be until you die. So some of us, why waste his time on you? You're a denizen of the hellfire. As the Prophet Muhammad said, the people of paradise, they were the people who lived in this world doing the deeds that would take them there. Did Abu Jahl live the life of a person of paradise? No, he was a horrible person. Did Pharaoh live the life of a person of paradise? No, he was a horrible person. We got horrible people today. You know some horrible people. And then on the other hand, the prophet said the people of hell will do the deeds that will take them there. So Allah already knows who's going to heaven, and he already knows who's going to hell. Because he knows everything, but he didn't choose it. He didn't jump in your body and make you choose nothing. You make your choice. It's just that he knew it. And because the book has been sealed, you reap what you sow. So you die a prostitute. Your choice. Don't sit there and say Allah chose it for you. He didn't make the choice for you. You made that choice. He just knew that you rotted it. Y'all got it? It's just that simple. Plain raw English. Some of us got kids. We know that our kids are going to make bad choices. We try to help them to make good choice, but you know they're going to make some bad choices. You know what they're going to do sometimes before they even do it. Did you choose them to do it? No, you just knew they was going to do it, and now they got to reap the punishment. Well, Allah is more than that. Y'all understand that? So, that's what that last sentence means. And Allah sets forth parables. Allah is saying that he sets forth examples and stories for us because he already knows which of us is good. He already knows which of us are bad. He already knows which of us will choose to learn from those parables. He already knows which of us will not learn from them. And we'll all reap what we've sown in this world. Real poetic. It's called poetic justice. Allah will have his poetic justice from all of us. All right. So that's why y'all need to ponder this verse. And so today, what I'm going to do is speak about the light of Allah. Let me make it bigger so y'all can see. Okay, you're welcome, brother. The brother said he ain't never had it explained like that. Good job. Yeah, thank you. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong camera. This way. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, don't turn the cameras on in that Zoom room in there because that's going to distract me because I got my Zoom room. Okay. Yeah, turn it off. Click the button so that everything is off. All right, so tonight we're going to speak about the light of Allah. Hold on. Let me make it larger too. It'll make me small. Please put me on the big screen TV for the kids and for yourselves too, because I know a lot of y'all can't see. Put it on TV, okay, and take screenshots. So I want everybody to understand that Allah is the source of light. Not only is he the source of light that illuminates the heavens and the earth. In fact, all perceivable light in creation comes from Allah. And there's two types of light that we're going to be speaking about. Tonight, we're going to speak about those two types of light. You have the perceived light that comes from Allah and spiritual light. Perceived light and spiritual light. What's the difference? Well, perceived light. This is the light that illuminates the earth. This is the light that illuminates the skies. However, the word perceive refers to the light that emanates from the objects of the universe that would not exist without Allah's light. We're talking about the stars. We're talking about the light of the moon. We're talking about the sun. Listen to what Ibn Abbas, may Allah be pleased with him, told us that the Prophet would say when he woke up to pray at night. He used to say, "Oh Allah, to you be praise. You are the light of the skies and the earth and whatever is in them. And to you be the praise. You are the sustainer of the heavens and the earth and whatever is in them." So the perceived light here is also referring to the light that we wouldn't have today were it not for Allah. Allah is the one that commands the sun to rise. The Prophet Muhammad said, every night the sun sets under the throne of Allah, and it does not rise until Allah commands it. And where's Allah's throne? Who can remember that from our Tawheed class? Where's the throne of Allah?
Is it in the seventh sky?
Oh, good job. Exactly. It's above the seventh sky. Good job. Oh, Nee, I'm proud of you. It's above the seventh sky. So where does the sun go when it sets, guys? It doesn't go into the ocean. It sets above the seventh sky under the throne of Allah. And it does not rise unless Allah says rise. Okay? That's perceived light that we wouldn't have unless Allah made it rise. The same with the stars, the moon. We also have this hadith from Ibn Masud. He said, there is no night or day except with your Lord. The light of the throne comes from the light of his face. So the light that we see, guys, Allah is the light. His face, this glow, that glow from his face is what illuminates the throne, which is what illuminates the sun, the moon, the stars, and all that's in it. Look at that. This light that you see when you look up in space, all that light comes from the face of Allah. Those are the beams of light from his face. Listen to what Allah says in the interpretation, the meaning. Have you ever pondered if Allah made night continuous for you till the day of judgment? Who is a God other than Allah who would come to you with light? Will you not then listen? Have you ever wondered if Allah made day continuous until the day of judgment? Who is a God besides him who would come to you with the nighttime to rest? Will you not then open your eyes and see the reality? And out of Allah's mercy, he has set for you the night and the day so that you may rest during the night, and so you may seek his bounty during the day, and so that you may pay thanks to him. Subhanallah. If it weren't for Allah, guys, if Allah told the sun to not rise, if Allah told the moon to not shine, if Allah commanded the stars to not twinkle, where would we get light from? There is no God but he. There is no ilah. Ilah is an Arabic word that means a God other than him. Okay? Also Allah says in the interpretation, the meaning, indeed, in the creation of the heavens and the earth, and the alternation of the night and the day, these are signs for those who have understanding. Now I'm getting ready to teach y'all something. Whenever you read a hadith or you read a verse of the Quran and Allah uses the word sign, either uses it singular or plural, it's referring to his guidance. It's referring to the guidance that can be gained from something knowable if you think about what that verse is saying. So in this verse here, Allah is telling us the changing of day to night and night to day is a sign for whoever has true understanding. That means you think about it. Look at how we go from night to day, day to night. There are some parts of the world, like here in America, Alaska. Alaska they go through this period of all daytime, no night. And the people that live there say it's the weirdest thing. Can you imagine there being no nighttime? They don't know when to sleep, when to rest. Everything's a party. It's hard. It throws their body off. And then we also go through a period where it's always nighttime, no daytime. Those people say this, they think it's all about sleeping. It throws your whole body off. So whenever you read the word sign in the Quran, you're supposed to think about what Allah just said. And that's why when Allah mentions the word sign, he qualifies it as a sign for people who have understanding, for people who believe in him and reflect upon his words, or people of knowledge. No one but Allah calls upon us to do this type of reflection. Therefore, whenever we see the words sign in the Quran, we should always take a moment and ponder what Allah is saying. That's one of the first.
That's what I was doing.
Okay, if that continues to happen, y'all know what to do, okay, as a moderator. Okay, and also, guys, when I first started learning this religion, I was taught to do this. This is one of the first things that one of my teachers told me. He said, Layla, whenever you read the Quran and see that word, you have to be able as a daya to break down what Allah is saying. He said, because the people are not going to know to do that. As a daya, as a true caller to Islam, you have to have the people, you have to go to that verse and point out to the people what they don't catch, what they're not catching. So I learned that when I was young, to be a daya, to be a teacher, to do that. So I'm telling you guys, whenever you're reading the Quran on your own, when you get to a verse that says are signs, or this is a sign, for people who understand, go back and read what came before it. Go back and read what Allah is trying to tell you, because that means Allah trying to tell you something. Okay? So Allah is the source of the perceived light. And his veil is light. And his veil is a veil of light which protects the creation from the intensity of Allah's light. Now, again, we look at the sun, the stars, the universe, the glowing of the moon. That little bit of light is coming from Allah's face. Can you imagine how much light it would be if Allah removed his veil? Because Allah stands behind the veil. If he removed that veil, light would overcome everything. Subhanallah. We have this hadith, whereas one day the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam stood up and he told the companions about 5 things. He said, number 1, Allah never sleeps, and it is not befitting for him to sleep. He lowers the scales and raises them. The deed done during the daytime is taken up to him before the deed done during the night, and the deed done during the night before the deed done during the day. His veil is light, and if he were to remove it, the glory of his face would burn everything of his creation as far as his gaze would reach. Subhanallah, subhanallah. Allah has a veil which he stands behind. The light that we perceive in this world today, the night and day, and all of that is from the light that comes from his face through that veil. Imagine him removing that veil. Everything would burn because of that beautiful light. And the veil of light is mentioned in many authentic hadiths. We have this hadith where after the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam came from his night journey, Abu Dhar asked him, did you see Allah? And the Prophet said, how could I see Allah? Allah is light. No one has ever seen Allah, and no one will ever see Allah until the day of judgment, when we enter into paradise. When we enter into paradise, that's when Allah will remove his veil, and we'll be able to look and see the beauty of his face. So when you come upon these Sufi Muslims that tell you that the Prophet Muhammad saw Allah, they're lying to you. Tell them to bring their evidence, because here's the dalil. The Prophet Muhammad never saw Allah, and anyone that says he did is lying on him. As Aisha radiallahu anha said, anyone who says the Prophet saw Allah is a liar. Okay? So that's the perceived light. The perceived light is the light that we have that comes from Allah, that lights up this whole universe. And then the second type of Allah's light is the spiritual light. This is the light that he gives to whomever he chooses. The spiritual light reaches the heart, whereas the perceived light we can see on the outside. The spiritual light reaches the hearts, the ears, and the eyes, and it makes up the beneficial light that puts us at peace in this world. That's the light that we have, where we know what our purpose is. I know what my purpose is. I was born to worship Allah, and I was born to die. Death is a part of life. I don't know when I'm gonna die, but I'm gonna make sure that I live each day of my life as if it were my last on earth, staying away from those things that'll take me away from my Lord. A lot of people ask me all the time, why do you spend your time giving dawah? Dawah, 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 because what else is there? There's nothing else here but sin. If I stop doing dawah, what am I going to do? Go outside and get a boyfriend and have sex and like the Kafirs are doing? If I wasn't doing dawah, what am I going to do? Go out to a party, let my hair down and drop it like it's hot? What else is there but the remembrance of Allah? I don't have no children in here. If I had kids, I'd be taking care of my children. If I had a husband living with me, I'd be with my man. I'm a single woman. What do I need? What you mean, why am I into the dawah? What else is there for me? That spiritual light. That's what makes us find peace in this world. The spiritual light. That's the light that's described in that parable of guidance. The spiritual light comes from Allah, and Allah guides whomever he wills. That's the spiritual light. So that parable that we went over, those first 5 verses, the parable of light is the guidance that comes from Allah. So again, guys, don't get it twisted. Allah, there is no power, there is no might other than he. I have to say this every day because I have so many new shahadas and I got so many old Muslims here who life is kicking their butts. Do you think that just because you say you believe in Allah, that's enough? Allah tells us he's going to test us with everything that we love, your life, your family, your health, your property, your home, your mosque, your website. We were created to live here on earth. This is the testing ground. This is the testing ground to see how many of us are going to open up our hearts and be receptive to the guidance that comes from Allah. Allah knows already. He already knows who's going to accept it. He already knows who's going to reject it. Those who he knows is going to reject it, he going to leave you to yourself. You ain't going to have nothing good in this world. and definitely nothing in the hereafter. But for those of us who are receptive, Allah will give us that contentment within. He'll give us that strength to say no to our desires. He'll give us the strength to keep ourselves busy doing good deeds like I'm doing on this website all day, rather than being like other women I know who at henna parties. I know some Muslim women, all they do is party. They get up, make salat, and they leave. They go from house to house, partying with different sisters, and then they hang out at the mosque. Nothing constructive.